Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Fiesta's in the books, but frustrations remain over one of Fiesta's biggest events. The problems reported at the King William Fair and the steps organizers say they are already taking before next year.
An exciting time for local college students getting ready to walk the stage. Tonight, hundreds of UTSA Roadrunners received their rings and something that they can only get in San Antonio. But first, let's go back to that tonight. Frustration over one of Fiesta's biggest events. Visitors at the King William Fair reported long lines and major delays on Saturday.
Yeah, many of the complaints focus on the fair's cashless bracelets that they handed out, the so-called Blast Pass. As the Night Team's Patty Santos explains, organizers say those issues are actually out of their hands.
The King William Fair turned into a total meltdown for some kids and adults alike because of problems with the fair's Blast Pass.
And the last charge up that we did took 45 minutes to hit our bracelets. And it was horrendous, especially with very impatient children.
Tia Miller says she will not be going back. Attendees blasted the organization on social media for the long lines of people trying to load money into their passes and ongoing glitches.
Everybody was like looking around going, what's taking so long? Why are they, what's going on here? So I don't think I was alone in the frustration there.
In a statement released Monday afternoon, the organization gave a lengthy explanation for the delays. It blamed the initial problems on the storm the night before that knocked off the Wi-Fi, leading to internet delays during the event. More than 30,000 people attended the event. The statement says organizers are exploring other food and beverage credit options for the event in 2024. But attendees say the explanation comes too late.
I just felt really bad for the vendors because we kept seeing it happen. They kept handing food items over, because their hands are full, and then they were grabbing their little scanny things, and they had no way of, taking the food back, and nobody else had any way of paying.
And I spoke with several people who say they're probably not going back next year if the fair continues to use these passes. Some of them say they've had problems with these in the past. Now, right now, the organization says they are working to rectify accounts that could not access the pass over the weekend. They're just asking people to have a little patience. Steve, Stefania.
Patty, thank you. In other news now, just as she was about to get on a plane, San Antonio police arrested the woman who claimed that she was held at gunpoint in connection with her husband's death. Turns out that may not have been true. Marianne Demetro is charged with altering, destroying, and concealing a human corpse. Demetro told police that she was being held against her will Sunday morning after a man named Jose Alvarez shot her husband to death. Now, she said the three were inside Alvarez's apartment on Medical Drive on the northwest side. Originally, she told police that she had escaped Alvarez's apartment and called to report her husband's murder. But investigators now think that she was trying to help Alvarez.
She actually assisted the suspect in attempting to remove the body from the apartment. She was found trying to clean up evidence inside the apartment. So with that information, the homicide detectives got a warrant.
Now, police caught Demetro at the San Antonio airport trying to flee the city. Alvarez has been charged with murder. Police did not give a motive, but said that Demetro and Alvarez had some kind of relationship.
The massive manhunt continuing at this hour for 38-year-old Francisco Oropesa. He's accused of shooting and killing 5 of his neighbors in Cleveland, Texas, about an hour north of Houston. Police say Oropesa was shooting his AR-15 style rifle for fun when his neighbor asked him to stop because a baby was sleeping. Oropesa followed his neighbor back to his home and started opening fire inside. Authorities have been looking for him since Friday.
We do not know where he is. We don't have any tips right now to where he may be.
An $80,000 reward now being offered for information that leads to his arrest. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott's office responding to criticism today after calling the victims of the mass shooting illegal immigrants. A spokesperson for the governor said, quote, "We regret if the information was incorrect and detracted from the important goal of finding and arresting the criminal," end quote. You can read more about the governor's response right now on KSAT.com.
Now, closer to home, a Southside community is going to feel the impact now that a local hospital closed. Texas Vista Medical Center, which many of you knew as Southwest General, is done taking patients. It's one of the only healthcare facilities in that part of the city, which means that Southsiders are going to have to travel even farther to get medical attention in time of an emergency. Now, Texas Vista Medical Center President John Turton said, quote, TVMC does not want to close, and the consequences of our closure will cause an immediate public health crisis for the city's most vulnerable patients, end quote. TVMC had been open for almost 40 years.
And more moves in the fight against the opioid epidemic. UT Health San Antonio School of Nursing busy training people across the state to use Narcan. It's a life-saving medication that can reverse an overdose. That's why the department rolled out a simple 3-minute stick figure video. Here you see it. That shows how to use Narcan. The virtual training has been especially effective in harder to reach rural counties. The program has also sent Narcan to 73% of all Texas counties at this point.
You know, the fight against opioids is something that we've been following closely as part of our series Fighting Fentanyl. So we invite you now to whip out your phone and open the camera feature. And you see that QR code on your screen? Scan it. Because from there, that's going to direct you to more information on our website about fentanyl, what it is, how it affects your body, and how people who are addicted can get help. Now, coming up tomorrow on the Nightbeat, you're not going to want to miss our newest episode of Fighting Fentanyl. It's all about hope. A different program from UT Health San Antonio received a big grant to help people suffering from addiction. And tomorrow on the Nightbeat, you're going to learn how that program is going to help people suffering from opioid addiction.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. The United States could default on its debt as early as June 1st if Congress does not act soon. In a letter to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen actually urged lawmakers to raise or suspend the debt limit before then. Yellen noted that past debt limit impasses have shown that waiting until the last minute can cause serious harm. In response, President Joe Biden called on all 4 congressional leaders, including McCarthy, to meet with him on May 9th to discuss the debt limit. The labor union representing American Airlines pilots getting ready to go on strike, even though no timeline has been announced. The Allied Pilots Association says they could begin picketing at major airport hubs nationwide. American Airlines says neither picketing nor a strike authorization vote will impact flights or its operation. It also says a strike will only happen if terms for a new contract can't be reached. El Paso entering a state of emergency ahead of the ending of the pandemic-era immigration policy Title 42. The city expecting a surge of immigrants when the policy expires on May 11th. Asylum seekers already camping out on sidewalks and staying in shelters across the border from El Paso and Mexico. The declaration is in effect for 7 days. Then El Paso City Council will decide whether to extend that order. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Humidity is already on the rise. That's going to lead to some morning fog and a little bit of drizzle. But soon thereafter, we're actually going to have some more storm chances to talk about. I'll time that out for you. And I have some good news to share as well regarding recent rainfall. See you in a bit.
Adam, thank you. So now I have a question for you. Are you ready for Saturday, May 6th? Yeah, it's Election Day. You still have time to vote early and beat those long lines. Now, this time there is a lot on the ballot. Voters are going to pick the next San Antonio mayor and whether they want new school bonds and propositions. Early voting, though, ends tomorrow. You can vote tomorrow anytime between 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening. We have all the information about what you need to know before you head to the polls. You know where to go. Our website, KSAT.com. Also there, the police union spending lots of money to fight Proposition A on the San Antonio ballot, known as the Justice Charter to its supporters. The charter amendment attempts to decriminalize marijuana and abortion and expand the city's cite and release program. Now, a union-controlled PAC is spending nearly as much as every other campaign combined in an effort to get San Antonians to vote no. We have more on what it's spending the money on and also how much exactly it's outspending their opposition. Again, you can find the story on KSAT.com.
Right now, as we speak, cleanup underway in several parts of the country after a wave of severe weather. A look at the aftermath.
Also, it's a Roadrunner tradition and an honor that you can only get in the Alamo City. It's an exciting time. Now join us in extending a congratulations for hundreds of road runners. 361 graduating UTSA students received their well-deserved college rings tonight. But that's not all they got, because they also received a certificate authenticating that their rings stayed overnight in the church at the Alamo right before the ceremony. And that's unique to San Antonio. So we want to say congratulations to all of our college graduates as they begin this new chapter.
Mental health. It's something you can't physically see, but something you definitely should not neglect.
And we should talk about that because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a time to remember to take care of your mental state. Now, we spoke with Luis Santos, the director of behavioral health care at University Health. He says that taking a few minutes a day just to reflect and process what you're thinking goes a really long way. He also says that self-doubt can make bad days much worse.
When we start finding it very hard to believe that I am worthy of receiving love and giving love, those are indications. Difficulty maintaining relationships, difficulty maintaining employment, difficulty maintaining simple problem-solving skills.
Now, Santos says it's crucial to ask for help if you're feeling down. We want to remind you about the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is 988.
Looking across the country now, severe weather causing lots of problems in several areas. Look at what's behind me. That's a dust storm in the Midwest being blamed for killing at least 6 people. It's in Springfield, Illinois, and as you can see, pretty hard to see anything. Meanwhile, in the southeast parts of Treasure Coast, Florida, recovering from an EF2 tornado. Winds powerful enough to flip cars and tear through houses.
Wow. You look at that and then you look at our weather and you're like, okay, it's all right. We're good. 74 degrees out there right now. And you mentioned something, Adam, about rain and how we got a good amount of it.
Yeah, we did. I've got some interesting stats to share with you, and it's some really good news that we'll get to once we get past our storm chances and we talk about our weather setup here. First of all, the humidity returns tonight. It's already rising. Dew points are back in the 60s and are going to be there or higher for at least the next 7 days. That's going to mean some morning fog and drizzle tomorrow to start the day, so expect that for the morning commute. And then the storm chances are back starting on Thursday. So let's start with those storm chances. Notice that 10% Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, it's just a few little sprinkles in the morning. Not a big deal. It's actual thunderstorms Thursday, late in the day, possibly even into Thursday night. Scattered in nature, 40% then, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, some isolated to widely separated pop-up afternoon storms are possible as well. And keep in mind in this time frame here, anytime we get a thunderstorm this time of year, it runs the risk of becoming strong to severe. So it can't be ruled out that we could have some severe storms at any point during these days, Thursday on into the upcoming weekend. And the weekend activity, and even Friday through the weekend, it's just that pop-up isolated afternoon showers and storms that are hard to predict exactly where they're going to develop until shortly before they do. But we'll be fine-tuning the forecast and we'll keep you updated in the days ahead. Big picture shows this huge swirl, big pinwheel over the Great Lakes and New England. That's big upper level low. It's just going to sit there for several more days, not influencing our weather. What we're looking at to influence our weather, this upper level disturbance, that counterclockwise circulation over Northern California, it's going to slowly drop southward. It's not going to set itself up to give us that perfect boost of upper energy, say if it were over northern Mexico. However, it's going to be wedged in between the big blue H over Mexico, and we're going to be wedged in between that and, of course, this upper level low. And due to their respective circulations, it gives us this funnel of upper level flow coming off the Pacific. So we'll get some additional upper level moisture from time to time, and more importantly, this upper level energy that can sometimes break our cap and start producing some showers and thunderstorms. So it's one of those situations where I often say, we need the door to be open for disturbances. Well, it's going to be wide open. We just have to wait and see, basically wait for some of those disturbances and see when they're going to hit us and when they could develop some storms. But that's starting on Thursday when we have that storm potential. Okay, the good news. I'm going to step off here. Check this out. A lot on the screen here. You look at the rainfall at San Antonio International, and this is the departure from average. Above the horizontal line in the green, that's above average. Below in the brown colors, that's below average. We had 17 months straight of below average precipitation up until April. April, of course, came to an end. 4.75 inches of rain, 2.33 inches above average. The first time in 17 months we've had a month above average in terms of precip. And actually, it's the most we've had in a single month officially at the airport since October of 2021. 74 right now. Dew point is 64. The humidity's on the rise. Here's our futurecast tomorrow morning. Likely to have areas of fog. Visibility at times could be down under a mile, especially east of San Antonio. But by 9:30 to 10, I do think that fog is going to burn off. And although we'll have some low clouds around, at least we won't have the reduced visibility and that morning dampness sticking around all too long. So 65 at 7 a.m., some dampness, fog, drizzle, some sprinkles, and then peaks of sunshine into the afternoon, making it up to 83 for the high in San Antonio. Pleasanton 84, Floresville 83, 83 Bandera, Comfort 81. Now, looking ahead in the 7-day forecast, temperatures do climb a little bit. We're back to 87 by Friday and near 90 this upcoming weekend. And keep in mind, those storm chances come back into the picture late Thursday, and then we could have some daily activity as we get into the upcoming weekend, especially in the afternoons and evenings. Now, speaking of evenings, this evening, it was a good show with our beautiful sunset. We got those high, thin clouds overhead. It made for a nice, colorful display. So thanks to our KSAT viewers for posting these wonderful pics of our sunset this evening. And that is a contrail. This user says, is that a cloud or a contrail? Well, a contrail is a cloud. It's created by the hot exhaust from high-flying aircraft up in the colder air, and it creates that immediate cloud. But at sunset, it gets illuminated that color.
That's a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we learned earlier that the Cowboys have a connection with Deuce Vaughn, who they drafted.
Yes.
That's not where the Cowboy connections end, however.
Yeah, come to find out, Deuce Vaughn doesn't have the only family connection inside the Dallas Cowboys draft room. DeMarvion Overshone has a family connection inside as well. Plus, Cameron Cardone is all about birds up coming up. DeMarvion Overshone grew up in the shadow of Dallas and Tyler. Now he'll be under the bright lights of the Cowboys' home stadium in Big Board Sports.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Friday night during the third round of the NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys selected Texas Longhorns linebacker DeMarvion Overshone, 90th overall. Cowboys DC Dan Quinn really likes this dude who twice captained the Longhorns defense. The former high school safety definitely adds some depth at linebacker, and he can play special teams. Jerry Jones had to be eyeing him because of his special connection with the Dallas Cowboys.
His grandson, Paxton Anderson, was my locker buddy. So his grandson talked so highly of me. You know, I'm real appreciative of Paxton for that. So he said it was an A+ before I even sat down, before he even turned on my film. But he loves my versatility. He see me fitting right in with the defense, with Dan Quinn defense, as far as me moving around, playing different positions on the opposite side of Micah and all those guys. So it's going to be fun. I'm already ready for the season. I'm ready to get there right now.
Overshone is just the fourth Longhorn drafted by the Cowboys since Jerry Jones took ownership of the franchise in 1989. The Houston Texans made a bold move, trading up from 12th to 3rd overall selection to draft Alabama linebacker Will Anderson Jr. Houston traded away 4 draft picks, 2 this year, 2 next year, while Houston got Anderson and 2 draft picks in return. Getting Anderson fills a serious void because Houston was tied for 17th in sacks last season, but some were wondering if they paid too much to get him. One thing is for sure, head coach DeMeco Ryans is thrilled to get Anderson at 3 and QB C.J. Stroud with the 2nd overall pick.
The first emotion, getting CJ, I was elated. Like, we got him, okay, I was happy. And then it was time to go to work. Right now, can we get Will? And once we were able to seal that deal and get Will, I mean, I was over the moon. I couldn't have been happier, smiling, just being able to get both of these guys was outstanding. And this credit goes to Nick and the work that he did, all right, to make that deal happen. He did an outstanding job, so credit to Nick on that one.
While many are giving the Texans draft class a good grade, GM Nick Caserio grades his new class as incomplete / to be determined, saying these players haven't done anything. Former UTSA kicker Jared Sackett was invited to Denver Broncos rookie minicamp. He joins Clifford Chapman, Ahufitu Maka, and Corey Mayfield Jr. as undrafted Roadrunners to get a shot at the next level. We caught up with the UTSA golf star Cameron Carrion today. She gets ready to play in the San Antonio Regional, being hosted by the Roadrunners and San Antonio Sports next week at TPC San Antonio Oaks course. Cameron is one of 6 individual golfers assigned to the SA Regional after earning an NCAA postseason berth. The Incarnate Word High School grad is beyond thrilled to represent UTSA and the 210.
People always ask me how it feels to represent UTSA, but it truly is, it's coming from the bottom of my heart. It's one of the most special things to me because, like, I grew up here in San Antonio. I miss San Antonio in my own head. I miss San Antonio. I would never leave UTSA. Like, if I could do it all over again, I would come straight back to UTSA. I live and breathe San Antonio, and it just means a lot to me just to be able to represent our university, UTSA.
SA Regional will go down May 8th through the 10th at TPC San Antonio. Congrats to the UTSA men's tennis team who earned a spot in the 64-team field in the NCAA D1 Championships being held in Austin. 41st ranked UTSA will open with number 37 Pepperdine at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Space City Monday for the Astros after the break. Houston opened up a 3-game homestand with the San Francisco Giants tonight. Bottom of the 7th, Astros sent 10 players to the plate, and they scored 5 runs. Mauricio Dubon doubled to right to put the Stros on top 3-2. He went 3 for 5 with 2 runs batted in. Astros take it 7-3 tonight in their Space City uniforms. The 76ers played at the Celtics tonight, game 1 of that Eastern Conference semifinal. Philly without Joel Embiid because of a sprained right knee. This game saw 14 ties and 16 lead changes. James Harden gave Philly the lead for good, 117-115 with 8.5 seconds to go via a pull-up 3. He tied his career playoff high of 45 points, and the Sixers stunned the Celtics in Boston 119-115, taking away home court advantage.
Boy, that's a rivalry that goes way back.
It sure does.
Andrew Tony, Dr. J, Larry Bird.
Oh, back in the days,
Kevin McHale.
Pumping me up.
That's what I'm saying.
Way before my time.
Yeah, I know.
We'll be right back.
All right, I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on. Just a subtle reminder, this Saturday, May 6th, is Election Day. You still, though, have time to vote early. Voters will pick the next San Antonio mayor, whether they want school bonds and propositions like the controversial Prop A. Early voting ends tomorrow. You can vote anytime between 8 in the morning and 8 at night.
We also want you to check this out. The winners of the 21st annual HEB Excellence in Education Awards have been announced, and 4 of those winners are from San Antonio.
Yeah, the winners of the Leadership Secondary Award went to Amy Charney, or Aim Charney, I hope it's Amy Charney, of NEISD. Lisa Berry won the Lifetime Achievement Elementary Award. She's with Alamo Heights. Pre-K Academy at West Avenue won the Early Childhood Center Award, and the Northside Independent School District School Board also won an Excellence in Education Award.
Congratulations to them, and each winner is going to receive grant money that's going to go towards school improvements.
And right now on KSAT.com, Jacobs Well. It's getting shut down to swimmers. It's one of the most popular swimming holes in Texas, but Hays County says it will remain closed for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so Hays County Parks officials say that low water levels and spring flow make it unsafe. The park in Wimberley was closed for swimming during the 2022 season as well. And even though you can't go swimming there, you can still visit that area for hiking and also viewing during the spring.
Beautiful area to hike through. By the way, Adam, I wanted to say to all the UTSA graduates tonight, birds up.
That's right. Meet me.
Job well done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fog and sprinkles in the morning, and it does look like we'll have more storm chances to keep chipping away at that drought, even the drought in Wimberley there. That's unfortunately where we have some of the worst drought in this state, is around San Antonio and just north of town. But storm chances back in the picture by Thursday.
Have a wonderful night.
See you tomorrow.